Do you think you'll be able to pull the trigger and take life?
Yep.
You won't struggle?
I will not hesitate.
Deep in the English countryside, the British Army is turning Ukrainian civilians into frontline combat troops to fight in the war against Russia.
Get in there!
Over the next 5 weeks, the British Army will intensively train these recruits on how to kill and how to survive.
Come on! It's a real life casualty, isn't it? I know it's hard, let's go!
You know, this isn't training on the off chance that one day they may end up in a war zone. This is them seriously preparing themselves to be on that front line in 5 weeks' time. Last night, 400 men slept in this hangar. Half of them have completed the course and are heading out to the front line this morning. And the other half are the newcomers who are about to begin their training. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Stacey. Pasha is 30. Back home, he's a welder. Yesterday, he said goodbye to his mum and dad and got on a plane to the UK. How do your parents feel about the fact that you've come over here to train to essentially become a soldier? They're not happy.
Not very happy. Like from the fans, father, goodbye, father, and they stay crying.
Oh, they were emotional. I imagine this feels quite overwhelming.
For me, it's more easy because I have no children, for example. Guys who have children, much more hard for me.
One!
Basic survival skills that British soldiers learn over several months have been crammed into the first few days of the course.
We have our enemy position.
So much for them to take
There
in.
is a lot for them to take in, yeah. It is really important that we closely monitor them so we can pinpoint today what they're not so strong at and then feed that into the training later on. Yeah,
It's hard for you guys as well because you have to deliver all of this information in such a short space of time.
Yeah, it's hard because if they haven't picked something up, there's not loads of time to correct it. So sometimes I think the instructors feel like maybe we haven't given them the best possible chance that we could give them just because of the time that we have, but you just have to hope that they do remember and pick up the majority of the training that we teach them.
Just put your weapons beside you. Okay, so we're going to start cooking our lunches.
When Russian forces invaded Ukraine, Pasha was living in Belgium.
When the war started, in the morning I woke up, watched the news, and I'm like, shit. I called my parents, they say, stay in Belgium. And I just bought a ticket and went home. And only a few days later, when I came to Ukraine, I called them and said, I'm in Ukraine. They say, like, why? What are you doing? But father said, I'm proud that you came anyway.
Very nice.
I saw people on the border. Almost all of them, it was girls, ladies, and children. It was about 5,000 people.
Then we've got any spare water.
Who can protect them if not us? Who?
The recruits have moved on to fighting from street to street and building to building. These are essential skills for cities occupied by Russian forces.
Сонік, заходь в кімнату.
Barricade.
Забарикадуйся, як вчили біля коридору. Так.
Alongside the trainers and recruits every day are interpreters like Aliyah.
We basically do everything they do. It's a combination of translating and running around with them, doing all the exercises with them, supporting them when it's needed, helping them when it's needed, giving them a little bit of motivation when it's required, when a bit down. I think they're preparing here psychologically and physically, both.
Yeah, you need the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe psychologically even more. Because when you will be back there, the adrenaline will push you, but you have to be prepared mentally. So.
Hey guys, fucking rock and roll.
Yes, rock and roll.
I'll be back in a sec.
She's like such a powerhouse. She's really, really impressive.
Sometimes we're a bit more than linguists. It's a bit challenging sometimes. You get to know a little bit their stories. You get to know a bit about their families. And then you have to say goodbye to them. And they know going back to their families. You know where they're going, pretty much.
Do you know, I imagine it's a difficult balance for the instructors to get right. It's a fine line. You need to really hammer home that if you make a mistake back in Ukraine, that's you possibly dead, your mate's dead. But you also need to make sure that they're feeling confident, because they need to go to that front line feeling like they are competent and they've got it in them to be productive. So they're just asking so much of them. Pasha has been making a good impression on the training team. They've decided he has leadership potential, so he's being promoted to second in command, or 2IC of his unit. From now on, Pasha has to look after his men as well as himself.
Пацаны, настал наш час. Окей, давай. Поехали, переходиками, занимаем позицию туда. Задание остается прикрывать. Поехали, перекатиками, занимаем позицию, так растягиваемся.
Right, suppression fire on a bunker!
In our section, I have to show the example for guys. How to act, how to do it.
Grenade.
Илюха, мы с тобой идем.
Get the grenade ready!
Do you think you'll be able to pull the trigger and take life?
Yep.
You won't struggle?
I will not hesitate. Все, Илюха, поехали. Я, потом ты. We are fighting not against military guys, against army. We fighting against enemy that came to our houses and fight not against our army, but against civil people. It's unacceptable.
Дальше, ближе и гранату. Пошли, забиваем.
Чисто!
The recruits have completed some of the most intense training in the world.
Honestly, they've come a long way in that, and it's really good to see from the start of the course and how they've improved. Couldn't ask for a better lot of lads. Pasha stepped up as commander multiple times and that, and we've recommended for him and another lad when they go back to Ukraine that they might be put forward for a command because of that. So, well done, buddy. Good luck, bro.
How long do you think this war will go on for?
I can't say that. I'm sure that we will win. It's only a question of time and question of how much people will die. I hope, of course, that I will survive, but chances are not so big, is the truth.
I can't imagine having to accept something as massive as that, but I'm not in your position, so how can I?
I hope that you will not be. Never. That's why we are fighting.